NFC championship game, as again, we do have the two final best teams in the NFC at this point in the season playing in this game. And it really couldn't be much better, right? We're going to have Jared Goff. We're going to have Brock Purdy. And really, both of these guys, as much as y'all might want to knock me for this, stay with me here. Both guys really do seem like system quarterbacks at the end of the day. That's not so much of a surprise for Brock Purdy, as we've all kind of come to know and understand him as that. But Jared Goff, if it wasn't great for Jared Goff with the LA Rams, he wasn't performing super well. That's why once he got to the Super Bowl, Sean McVay wanted to move off of him and go with Matthew Stafford, who was maybe a little more proven, definitely more talented. Stafford was not a system quarterback. Jared Goff, with a great coach in Dan Campbell, with awesome talent around him, with a great culture now established, this is no Cinderella team. But he is still going to be, to me, a system quarterback. Is he more talented than Brock Purdy? Yes. Do I trust him more than Brock Purdy? Yes, just a little bit. But Brock Purdy's in his second NFC championship in as many years as a starter, and Jared Goff is in his second NFC championship in his career as well. Only thing is, I trust Goff a little more because I believe he is more talented and he has made it to a Super Bowl as well. So I am going to give that slight lean to Jared Goff here, but really this is almost a wash at a point in terms of quarterback competition, if you ask me, considering how things are lining up in this game. Lions have the fourth best offensive line. The Niners have the fifth best offensive line in terms of sacks given up, so it's very tight there. Now the defense is where it's really going to be a thing here for San Francisco to be able to take advantage of a young, playoff inexperienced Lions team. The Niners defense is 8th in yards per game and 3rd in points per game. You look over on Detroit's side of the ball, they're 14th in yards per game and they're 22nd in points per game as well. So that Niners defense, I think, is going to give a real challenge, or excuse me, that Lions defense is going to have a real challenge up on their hands with Deebo Samuel being in this game. The news just broke about, I think, an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours ago, that he's going to be in this game. Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk. Will they be able to keep up with that style of Kyle Shanahan offense that we know is ran all through San Francisco? Now, the Niners offense versus the Lions defense could be problematic, like I was just saying. If San Francisco gets comfortable and they get going at home, it could possibly be a long day for the for the Detroit Lions. No, not Callahan yet, man. I'm actually doing the NFL coaching carousel at the end of the show. So if you don't want to stick through the whole show, which of course I hope you do, probably pop back in about 45 minutes or so. But even if you don't catch it tonight, bro, I timestamp everything and you'll be able to go back and watch it on YouTube and see right when I start talking about the NFL coaches. But even when you look at the rosters for the Lions and the 49ers, Jahmyr Gibbs pairing up with Christian McCaffrey, of course, opposite sides of the, opposite teams here. Sam Laporta not against George Kittle, but Sam Laporta, George Kittle, Amon-Ra, and Jameson Williams versus Deebo and Brandon Ayuk. Very good coaches here. Kyle Shanahan, of course, has more experience. He's been to a couple Super Bowls. He hasn't won any of those Super Bowls. And then Dan Campbell, who has really turned this franchise around. Amazing draft. We remember laughing at them for taking a running back and the linebacker in the first round, and Jack Campbell and Jahmyr Gibbs. And now they're here in the NFC Championship game. There's two high-powered offenses here, but the Niners have that defense to face, again, an inexperienced team in terms of playoffs with these Detroit Lions. The Niners are 9th in sacks given up, the Lions 22nd, so the Niners do have a better offensive line in terms of those parameters there. I think we're going to see a steady dose of Christian McCaffrey. Deebo Samuel, again, is set to play. I don't know if we're going to see a major incorporation of him, but Brock Purdy's not the same when Deebo Samuel is not healthy and on the field, just like we saw in that 3-game losing streak. No Trent Williams, no Deebo Samuel, no real production of Brock Purdy and that 49ers offense, which is under Shanahan. Now, I think Brock Purdy will more than likely be comfortable behind that offensive line just because, again, the Lions don't get after the quarterback as well as the San Francisco 49ers do. But I think we're also going to see plenty of play action here for Jared Goff to open up, Amon-Ra St. Brown. We know Jared Goff is extremely, extremely effective off play action. We've seen that in the last few years with the Lions. We saw that in all the years with the Rams. I mean, Jared Goff was damn near untouchable on play action. And so to know that that's going to be a part of his game in another major game of his career, I think he's going to be very comfortable in that aspect. The explosiveness of Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be very vital here. Sam Laporta getting schemed up and opened up. You can argue that he's already a top 3, top 5 tight end in the league as a rookie. Let us not forget that the Lions also drafted that man, Sam Laporta, in the same year that they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. And Jack Campbell, and Brian Branch. We said it back in April of last year. The Lions won the draft, and that is holding tenfold right now as they're in the NFC Championship game. Now, I don't see the Lions running the ball very effectively against San Fran in this one. Really just because like they are solid at running the ball this year, but I trust San Fran's defense more with the way that they match up in the trenches and in that linebacking core with the Bosa, of course, with a Fred Warner, with the Chase Young, with an Eric Armstead who should be hopefully healthy and suiting up in this game because they will need him in a major game for the season. Now, we've also seen both of these quarterbacks be turnover prone against good defenses throughout the season. Brock Purdy had 4 interceptions against the Ravens. We also saw him melt a little bit early on. A few games before that, I can't recall the team that it was, but before he threw those 4 interceptions as well. But I think Jared Goff, though, considering this Lions offense is going to be tested against the Niners defense more than the Niners offense will be tested against the Lions defense, or even vice versa. I give the nod to the Niners in this game. And I believe that they're going to be able to cause more turnovers here, or at least one turnover on Jared Goff, get him uncomfortable. And I'm banking on Jared Goff to be the one to make the mistake in this game or make more mistakes in this game, which will give me the San Francisco 49ers advancing to the Super Bowl 31-24. Lions are third in offensive yards per game and fifth in points per game. The Niners are second in yards and third in points. It's going to be a fantastic game. I can't wait for Sunday. 2 really, really good championship games, a couple that I feel like this is some of the best championship weekend matchup we've had in a while because it feels like genuinely the 4 best teams are here to play, and 2 of the best will advance to the Super Bowl. We've got Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Lamar's at home hosting Mahomes. And we've got the city of Detroit over in the Bay after no playoff wins in 32 years, looking to really break through and go to the Super Bowl. And I couldn't be more excited for how the 2023-2024 NFL season is shaping up.